Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Haut Beyleron here in Farming Simulator 22. Man, I keep saying Farming Simulator 19. But we are definitely here in Farming Simulator 22 and I am definitely CWATTY. I have completed the 3 harvesting contracts that I have undertaken. We've got Field 19 harvest completed. So we'll collect on that. Field 30 harvest is completed and obviously a little bit reducted because we leased the equipment. Field 44, the harvest contract is completed. We can get paid for that. So all those are done. Looks like we've got a load of cultivating contracts available to us, a load of fertilizing contracts. Some ploughing, some spraying. I think that's it for harvesting now. The tractor's just disappeared because I've harvested. I also, not only did I complete all 3 contracts, but having completed all 3 contracts and having sold, delivered all the stuff, we had 54,060 litres of sorghum left over. That's right. So, prices are going to be a little bit better over the next month or so. I might just hang on to a bit of this to see if we can't make a bit of profitability out of the contracts. Right, it is 4:10 in the game. I'm not actually going to start anything else at this point. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to get another day down the road. And see what tomorrow brings us. There we are. Birds are out eating my grass. It's now late September. I need to return that rock picker to the store, don't I? That's one of the things I need to do. Right. Let's have a quick look at the calendar. So, yes. There will be some more harvesting contracts coming up very shortly. For things like corn, sunflowers, soybeans, sugar beet, sugar cane. So there might be some of those contracts to do. Let's have a quick look. Money-wise then, how are we doing money-wise? Harvest income. Contract income made us very profitable. We made 9 grand so far in September because of contracting. I wonder if we should look at maybe doing some other contracts. There are quite a few. Got some fertilizing, lot. Field 36 fertilizing. Take a couple of the big fertilizing contracts, shall we? Get a couple of them queued up. Field 4. I'll have a look at some of the others in a little bit later. There's still some seeding. We haven't got a sprayer, so I can't do anything spraying. Yeah, if we go out and have a look at these. We will take our fertilizer sprayer. Or will we? Yes, we will. It's the only thing we've got. Let's load this back up. Fertilizer? And then we'll head off and do some fertilizing contracts. So field 26, field 36 and field 4. Let's go and have a check where they are on the map. Field 4's this big one up here. Field 26 is probably going to be another big one down here. And then field 36 is not that far away, just across the river bridge for us. So we'll start with the nearest, and then we'll work our way towards the other fields. That should net us a nice little steady bit of profit today. Couple of fertilising gigs. We're up to 327,000. One of the things I am looking at, as I did say, okay. Bear with me 1 second. Potatoes. Sugar beet. Am I going mad, people? I could have sworn those fields were sunflowers and soybeans. A day or two ago, when we first started on the map, I could have sworn they were sunflowers and soybeans, which would have made it very tempting for me to buy that field. To buy those two fields. As it stands, I'm now not so keen to buy those two fields, despite the fact that they would have been 146 grand and 112 grand. I could have afforded to buy both of those and still had some money left. Now, if I'm thinking about buying anything, it's probably this field over here. 276,000, which will at least will give me a soybean crop to harvest, and it's near the store as well, which would be very useful. Yeah, weird. The crops have definitely, the fields have definitely changed crops. Using the fertilizer spreader. Obviously, I would not use this for fertilizer spreading my own fields, because this tractor does not have crop-friendly wheels. But seeing as you can't do crop destruction when you are working on a contract for an AI farmer, it doesn't matter what wheels my tractor has on it. Or at least it doesn't seem to matter what wheels my tractor has on it. But yeah, I got the harvest contracts completed. The only reason why I haven't included more video footage of me completing the harvest contract is because actually I got a bit of an issue today after doing the first contract, when I was trying to move and transport everything from up here, where we was harvesting field 19, we're selling the crop here, trying to get my tractor and harvester from this field over here to field 30 was a nightmare, for the simple reason every time I drove either down this road here or I tried to drive down this road here, as soon as I passed the spinnery building, the game would crash. If the spinnery was in view and it was, you know, as I was trying to drive past it, the game would crash. And every time I checked the log file, it was giving me the same error in the log, something to do with resources or something. Resources buffer or created resources buffer or something like that, which seems to me indicate to me that the game's having trouble loading in the buildings and stuff, not loading in objects and placeables, and you know, it's having a bit of an issue. So I found after several crashes, I was like, how am I going to get around this problem? In the end, the only way I could drive from the field I was doing the harvest on, from like the field 19 area to field 30, was to go in cab like I am now and look straight down at my seat so that you couldn't see anything outside the windows of the vehicle, outside the tractor, and I was just basically navigating via minimap in the bottom left. That seemed to work. I got to the point where I got both the harvester and the tractor to the fields, and then literally every time the trailer needed emptying, I would send it via the AI to the field. I wouldn't try driving it myself because I didn't want to risk crashing again every time I went past the spinnery. So yeah, there's a few little bugs in the game at the minute. A few little bugs. And there's even a bug now with Giant's Bug Tracker. If you try to submit your bug via Giant's website, via their official bug tracking tool thingy, majiggy madoodah, even that now is broken and not working. It gives you an error when you try to open a new ticket, and a new bug ticket, that the website has too many redirects, so you can't submit your bugs, or at least I couldn't earlier. I had some issues logging into their bug tracker because I couldn't remember if I'd created an account or not, but I got logged in. But yeah, I've not been able to open a ticket to report the crashing issue that I was having and provide my log details. It's all fun though. It's all good fun. It's all very exciting. I then went for a bit of a sleep, an afternoon sleep. I had my dinner early today, and I had a bit of a sleep after I had my dinner. Obviously, my body needed to conserve its energy for digesting my dinner. So I wasn't able to stay awake after I'd eaten. But then when I woke up a little while ago, the first thing I found was my Discord flooded with comments from people asking if the servers are the servers down because they can't get on the multiplayer server. And I tried to log into my server to check the status of it and what's happening, and that website's down as well. that website's not working. It's crashed. It's under strain. So yeah, I think somebody at Giants, if somebody at Giants can get to the office and hit the Alt F4 button and restart everything, restart the computers, that would be fantastic. Turn it off and turn it on again, Giants. See if that fixes the problem. But yeah, I'm just using a bit of well, I was going to say local knowledge, but just experience when it comes to fertilising, to know roughly how far I can turn. Because obviously I can't see the ground. I can't see where I'm applying the fertiliser because the crop is too high. And we don't have guidance steering yet, sadly, in the game. So, yeah, when you're manually fertilising, you might have to do a bit of overlapping. But thankfully, it does seem that fertilising with solid fertiliser is not that expensive, in terms of you're not rapidly depleting through your fertiliser supply. You know, your fertiliser isn't going down at the same rate that lime does, or that grass seed seems to disappear at. So, you know, I would expect to be able to fertilise a couple of fields before I have to refill the bradle. I would. I would expect to be able to get all the free contracts I've taken done in the time it takes us to do I should probably get a shot of me with the sunflowers for a thumbnail for the video. There we go. A nice misty morning. Bit cloudy according to the forecast, although sun's going to come out a bit later on and break through. We've not had any more rain yet since the second day. Or the beginning of the second day. So yeah, periodically just go in, obviously. Check how you're doing fertiliser wise. I seem to be doing alright. I don't appear to be missing any leaving any gaps. Fertilising contracts, sowing contracts, cultivating contracts, ploughing contracts, those sort of things seem to be fairly generous in that you don't have to get every little bit of a field, every possible inch done to complete the contracts. They do tend to be a bit generous in letting you miss quite a bit of the field, compared to harvest contracts, which expect you to harvest more than is actually physically capable of being harvested at the minute. It makes a nice alternative, makes a nice change. But yeah, I mean, I did those 3 harvest contracts. They were fine. Didn't have any problems completing them. I didn't have to go in and change my files any more than I already had done, what they were already set to. So rather than setting the expected litres to 1, I just reduced what the expected litre values were by, I think, either 15,000 or 20,000 for all 3 contracts, and that seemed to work out quite well, quite nicely. The contract completion definitely matched up with how much of the fields I had done. So as like, you know, as you saw, as I was like 3/4 of the way across the first field, the contract was saying 75%. So yeah, that seemed to work out well for me. My estimation of how much to knock off the expected yield amounts worked very well, and we've got 3 harvest contracts completed. We got a bit of money in the bank, earned 40 grand. Better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Let's just move on today and do a few more contracts. So yeah, my plan was, having done the harvest contracts, I was going to buy those 2 fields today. I was going to buy the 2 fields nearest the farm, which would have been nice. But like I say, I'm confused because I didn't think they had soybean. I didn't think they had sugar beets and potatoes on them when we was doing the harvesting, the spading, the stone picking. I could have been wrong. I could be getting it mixed up with my live stream server, the map I used on Monday. Maybe that they had different crops, and maybe they've always been potatoes and sugar beets on this map, and I just didn't pay enough attention. But yeah, definitely not going to be buying sugar beets and potato fields in year 1, because the equipment is very expensive to harvest those. Even leasing equipment is very expensive. The potato harvester, as much as I enjoy the potato harvester in FS22 this time round, I did use the potato harvester last night on my multiplayer server to do 2 potato harvestings of fields that our farm started out with. I definitely prefer the new in-game potato harvester. It holds a nice 25,000 litres of potatoes in its little capacity thing, and it doesn't have silly little bicycle wheels on the front, which makes it a little bit easier to drive around than that. Seems a little bit wider too, the working width. It's up there with like the Roper sugar beet harvesters, definitely. In terms of working with, the only thing with the potato harvester, the model that Giants have chosen to put in the game this year, is that it's a little bit sluggish. It's not very maneuverable, should I say. It's not very mobile. When you're trying to turn around and you're trying to steer it and adjust it to get onto doing your next row or whatever, it's a little bit like it's a bit awkward to turn around. It doesn't steer very well. It's not got a very, you know, it's not articulated for such a big long length vehicle, which means it's a little bit rigid. It's like trying to maneuver a double-decker bus. So if your fields are quite close together and you're trying to turn around at the edges of a field, it's very possible that you will drive.
Something else I can help with?
It's very possible that you will drive onto the wrong field. And I know on the multiplayer server, when Mr. Helgi was having a go at it, he did some crop destruction, because as he was trying to turn around on the field he was trying to harvest, he kept reversing and driving onto our other fields, and was causing crop destruction. He didn't realise that we owned the fields. He didn't realise I'd bought the fields and that we owned them. He thought we was doing harvesting contracts last night, so he was like, "Oh, you do crop destruction on harvesting contracts now? Huh, that's new." Didn't even think that, hang on a minute, these could be our crops. These could be our fields. So yeah, a bit of crop destruction has been incurred using the new potato harvester. But I didn't have a problem with it. I quickly sussed out a way to get it to turn how I wanted it to turn and get it lined up for my next rows. You just had to be a bit more on the ball. But yeah, we'll get this fertiliser contractor done. We'll then go and do the other 2. I love the way that the sunflowers are blowing around in the wind. They're kind of waving. There's a bit of a wave going on the field. Kind of moving about. I'm pretty sure I've done. Field fertilizing 36 is done. So yeah, now we need to do 26. Oh god, I wish there was an easier way to get to the map screen, folks. So we're on this field. We need to get to 26. So we basically need to head down the road here. So we need to go along this road. Oh yes, we will get there. Starting to figure me way out. Put my teeth in so I can talk properly. I'm starting to figure my way around the map. Probably didn't want to come down here though. Let's go back this way. I was meant to take this turning here. So we've got just under half a tank full of fertilizer left. Yeah, which, as I say, should be enough. Should be enough to nail all these contracts. Haven't been down here yet. Have a look, see if there's any video game collectibles. There's a machine. Maybe I've already got that one. Maybe not. I still only have 18 found currently of the 20 that are on the map. Although, to be fair, I haven't really gone out looking for collectibles. We did discover that collectibles are in multiplayer. They are. Collectibles are in multiplayer. So, if you want to go collectible hunting with your friends on a server, when the servers are running, you can do. Collectibles are on the server, and they do grant the farm that finds them the money. So, if you're running a dedicated server with, you know, a couple of farms running on it, you can all have a competition to see who can find the most collectibles. Aren't you? And you'll earn some in-game cash for your farm in the process. Obviously doing these with a big sprayer, like the I've forgotten the name of it now. Blooming heck, my mind's gone blank. What's the big sprayer called? The self-propelled one. I don't want to have to go in the menu and look it up. But I might have to. We've got the Berthold one this time, haven't we? Which is new. Yeah, sorry folks, I forgot the name of the sprayer. the Rubicon. The Rubicon, which is 48.5 meter spreading width. Using that to fertilise would be very quick. You would complete jobs very quickly with one of those. You'd get through some liquid fertiliser though, which is quite expensive. As I say, I don't mind using dry fertiliser. You seem to get a lot of mileage out of dry fertiliser. You know. And this is the vanilla, the base game Bradle. It's not my edited one. I'm not using the edited one on the Let's Play. That was more just for me to see if I could remember how to edit vehicles and whether I could use the new Giants Editor 9. And it seems like I can for the things that I normally fiddle about with and play about with. As far as modding goes, as I say, I'm not a mod maker. I consider myself a mod editor, a mod corrector. But I'm definitely keen to learn a little bit more this year about Giants Editor, mod making, especially map making. I'd like to maybe try and have a bit of a play around in the editor with maps to see if I can make something that resembles a map. How are we getting on? Did that row very neatly. Didn't miss any bits. If you're wondering how I'm driving in such straight lines, I'm using the compass on the mini-map. Basically, if you look at the mini-map in the bottom left-hand corner, if I make it bigger, you can see there's like coordinate system. There's like coordinates on the bottom. The first one is your compass direction. So right now I'm heading north, 0 degrees or 360 degrees. That's directly north. If I was to go to 90 degrees, I'd be heading east. If I was driving 180 degrees, I'd be heading directly south. And if I was driving at 270 degrees, I'd be heading directly west. So basically, I try and keep that first compass, that first value on the mini-map steady. So right now, it's bouncing around between 0.1, 360, 359.9. So I'm driving pretty consistently in a straight line. I'm not weaving around all over the place, which means I shouldn't be leaving gaps. But that's how I drive in a straight line currently in the game until we get guidance steering. When guidance steering comes out, and then that takes away the need to steer, because that keeps you locked on a heading. But yeah, at the moment for me, guidance via compass is definitely the way to ensure you travel in straight lines. Oh yeah, now I'm heading directly south, 180 degrees. All's good. Spreader's a little bit, as I say, a little bit on the steady side at 11 miles per hour. These have definitely been slowed down since Farm Sim 19. In Farm Sim 19, this spreader would quite happily go across the field at like 24 miles per hour, which made fertilizing and lime spreading, you know, fairly quick jobs. Giants have definitely slowed them down in FS22. Whether that's to try and make the jobs more time consuming so people have their days filled a little bit more with the whole seasons thing. Jobs take longer to do, time passes a bit more quickly, therefore you are advancing through the days and months without too much period of inactivity. I don't know. I'm just speculating wildly about such things. Yeah, look. Not missed a beat yet on this field, I haven't. And of course, you could just click, click, click. So, fuel. Just looking at the fuel gauge in the right, we seem to have used about a quarter of a tank of fuel. And looking at the spanner icon, we about the same in terms of wear and tear. We are about a quarter of the way through the maintenance period on the vehicle. That also includes the spreader, obviously, on the back. Making sure that's in tip-top shape as well. Oh, I have hired a worker. I didn't mean to do that. Just thought, why is my money running out? That's because I've got a worker hired. Also would explain why my fertilizer wasn't going down. Must have caught the buttons by mistake instead of activating the cruise control. I hired a worker. Dope. I tried to rebind my controller so that the activate worker and cruise control do not share the same buttons. So I don't accidentally hire a worker when I want to do cruise control, or I don't accidentally do cruise control when I want to hire a worker. Doesn't always work out though. Sometimes I still end up doing the opposite of what I want to do. Here we go. Lime. Big field, this. Bet this field's expensive if you're looking to buy this field. Bet this one don't come cheap. I love the fact I can make the farmer look at the character look a little bit like me. He can look a little bit like me. This year, in this year's game, we have a little bit more choice when it comes to characters. Although we can't see them until we get a third-person mod. But yeah. That looks like me if I have a bit of a wash. A bit of a shave and a comb of my hair, and I put on some smart clothes, a smart shirt and a jacket. That does look like me. So congratulations, Giants, you managed to put me in the game. Well done. Thank you. It's got those, it's got running lights, this Massey. It's got these little always on lights on the front, these LEDs. Some cars have that. I'm not a big fan of that, having lights running during the day. I feel that's not very efficient, energy efficient. It's not very environmentally friendly, having your headlights on all the time. If it's not dark. Oh, yeah. People say, oh, they look really cool. It's like, do they? do those kind of lights look cool? Not really. I must admit, when it comes to headlights, you know, my rule of thumb is, if the street lights aren't on, you don't need your headlights. You don't need any headlights. If the street lights are off, you don't need your headlights on your car, and you certainly don't need any funny looking silly little lights that look like eyes, that make it look like the tractor's got eyes. It's like, are we trying to add characters to these things? It's not Thomas the Tank Engine, boys. It's not Herbie. It's not Brum. Not Knight Rider, you know. The tractors don't have souls. They don't have feelings, so therefore we don't need to give them little lights that make it look like they have eyes. Look at the hot air balloons. All very nice. Tell you what, this field's a lot bigger now that I'm actually on it and I'm driving it than it was on the minimap. It's a bit deceptive sometimes, the scale of some of these maps, because you look at them in the thing, you think, ah, it's not very big. Especially, like, you know, if you zoomed out, you think, yeah, it's not very big. And then you get over here. Oh, tell you what we need to do. We need to finish fertilising field 38 hasn't been fully fertilised, folks. Interesting. I wonder if that's because I applied fertiliser to half of the field that the stone picker had done its job on. And then I overtook the stone picker, didn't I? So I fertilised the harvested field, the harvested state, and then the stone picker come over the top. That would make sense. That would definitely make sense. Basically, that half of the field was when I was chasing the stone picker. I then overtook the stone picker and I carried on. So the stone picker kind of removed the stones and cultivated the field. I've applied fertiliser to that. And then the seeders come along. There's been no change in the ground state after I've done the fertilising. So when the seeder has been seeding and it's not been putting down fertiliser. It's only when it gets to the bit of the field where I overtook, because I put the fertiliser down, then the stone picker came along and it cultivated the soil and therefore changed the ground state. The seeder then, on this half of the field, was able to apply fertiliser. So that works exactly the same as FS19. So knowing that now, armed with that knowledge, we can work a little bit more efficiently in future because we know what we'll be able to do. What counts as a changing ground state. You know? So we can cut out some steps by creatively using field states. Can save us a couple of steps when we're turning round and re-prepping fields. Yeah, 56,000 litres of sorghum from those harvest contracts. That'll come in quite useful. That'll give me a nice healthy little bit of income when I sell that. We'll get into October. We'll wait till it's October, and then in October we'll sell the sorghum. Let's see. I'm going to need some more fertiliser soon. I could go into the options menu. And find refill fertilizer off. And that way then if I decide to hire a worker now, he will use my fertilizer and won't spend any money. He won't buy any. So he will just do fertilizing. Which I think we can all agree on is okay. Right, I'm going to head back to my farm. I'm going to leave him doing what he's doing. I'm going to quickly return the rock picker to the store. We won't need that anymore this year. I still haven't made a long-term commitment yet on the harvester front. The combine, whether or not I'm going to sell it. The reason why I've kind of hung on is because obviously my plan was to buy a field of sunflowers and buy a field of soybeans, and then I'd be able to harvest those in a couple of days' time. However, it seems like those fields were on a completely different map to the one I'm playing on. So I don't have the option of harvesting any soybeans or any sunflowers unless I buy a truly expensive field. The one next to me here. So we'll wait and see on that front. There you go, one stone picker successfully returned. I don't know if I owned the stone picker or did I lease it. I think I must have leased it. Yes. Yes, I didn't own it. Sometimes the messages are a little bit confusing. Because it definitely said there, do you want to sell? And I was like, no, I'm not selling. It's not mine. But definitely something we need to consider for the future is maybe a mulcher. we definitely ought to consider getting something like that. We are going to need a mower for doing our grass at some point in the future. What's that? Is that that go on the front, or does that go on the back of a mower machine? I have to guess on some of these. That's a tow behind jobby. It's 4 meters. And you've got that thing there which kind of folds out, and it's 4.4. We've got a few different choices as far as mowing units go in the game this year. Obviously, forage wagons we've already seen, we've already used, but we might need one of those for doing... We definitely need one of those if we're going to do silage, and we're going to do it in the bunker for loading, collecting the grass and putting it loose in the bunker, then for compacting and fermenting. I don't think there's anything else I'm in desperate need of. If we're going to do cultivating contracts, we might need to get ourselves a cultivator. I don't know if there's any in the sales, is there? Use sales. We've got a mechanical weeder, 15-meter weeder. We've got a high dump bucket, which is for a wheel loader. We've got a silage fork, which looks like it's for a large machine. So no, sadly, at this point in time, nothing in the used equipment sales for us to get terribly excited about. We'll head back to the farm. Like I say, we might be able to get some of that sorghum sold very, very soon. So yeah, we'll definitely be making use of this silage bunker here, definitely, to do some silage stuff. Let's just check the prices again. How is the sorghum doing today? Price is down. It is back up to 700. Le Jardin des Fermiers Farm Shop. Grain Mill. 770. Prices on the decrease. Should be on the upper side of things at the moment. Where's the grain mill? Railroad South, Lime Station. You are the biogas plant. Animal dealer. Livestock market. Debris crusher. Grain mill is over there. Okay, which is not terribly far from the farm. And what was the other place? The fromage schmutz. The Jardin des Fermiers Farm Shop. Is that the other place that was quite expensive? Yes. Okay. We're gonna go do some sorghum selling. We only get to hold 12,000 litres. We don't get to smash a load. Let's go to the grain mill to start with, as that's fairly close, and that will be a nice way of ending today's episode. And then we can always have a bit of a trip to the farm shop place another time. I think I need to go along here. Sorry, cars, for doing that abrupt reverse in the middle of the road. But we needed to head down here. There we go, 12,000 litres delivered, £9,000 of income. Very nice, very nice. Right folks, that's it for today's video. I'm going to go get the fertilising contract completed, the third and final fertilising contract. When we come back for the next video, we will have a look and see what else we can do. We might deliver the rest of this sorghum and make some money. We'll then give serious consideration to buying that field of soybeans, because like I say, if we can harvest that in the next day or two, that would be nice, because then obviously soybeans is very profitable, and then having another field already early in the game would be great for us as far as being able to make money long term. We can get some more we'll have more field work to do. Obviously we'll have to re-prep the field, so it'll need ploughing, liming, stone removing, We could try rolling this time, of course. But then we'd have a crop. We'd be able to plant a crop in the springtime, I think. Which would give us a different harvest window. Definitely something for us to consider. But that will be in the next episode, everybody. So thank you for watching today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you all again very soon in the next video. Please remember to click the like button on this one. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already doing so. Leave your comments and questions in the section down below. Share the video wherever you see fit with whoever you see fit. And take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Goodbye for now.